I'm going to kick off now. As I say, welcome today to everyone. Good to have you on the webinar. As you all know, we're going to be talking about Rainbow Hub today. We've been discussing this product for some time, and now we are in a position to launch it, which is all very exciting. So just quickly, we've just got the agenda, which seems to have disappeared. I'm going to quickly go through that. I'm going to introduce, and we've got Craig Walker is going to be introducing some of the products, and then John Stenhouse will go through a demonstration. Then we'll come back to me with a live. We'll come back to me. We'll go through the propositions and some of the offers that we've got, and then we'll finally finish the day with some questions and answers. We're going to be running a poll, which Katrina will be kicking in now, and also on the webinar you can put in questions you may have, which we'll go through at the end. So please feel free to interact with us. The questions, I believe, will be on the portal, which we can then go through. So just quickly going to run through myself. Obviously, you probably know Jeff Manser is in the background, who looks after the UC side of things. He has Darren and Mary working alongside him. Obviously, if you're being part of the Alcatel family for some time, you'll recognise both all these people. And finally, Katrina, who puts this magic together, and she'll be running the, like I say, the question and answers at the end. So just quickly, again, I just want to give everyone an update if you haven't seen it for some time. The portfolio, the way Nuvola work, we have 5 practices. We kick off with what we call intelligent networking. This is where we build the network which can run all these various applications, so that there's a lot of what if scenarios. For example, with the new Versa product that we're bringing on board alongside Alcatel is around the SD-WAN, enables hybrid working. We've got products in there that aggregate, deliver quality of service, etc., etc. So that's all about building the foundation for a solid network. And then we've got the traditional UC side of things, which again, names you will recognize, which deliver various, whether it be on-premise with the Alcatel, the gateways, the Sangoma, the SpectraLink, which is all about DECT, obviously the SIP handsets from Yealink, the headsets from JPL, and then the Varela with the contact center and ACD side of things. Obviously, the side of things which we're going to be talking about today, but which is building naturally with the way the market is moving and where everyone's looking, is around the TAS side of things. And within there, we've got a number of products that you'll recognize and delivering different solutions, which you'll see. There's contact center solutions, there's call recording solutions, there's the usual guys such as Teams, RingCentral, 8x8, but also the pure contact center call recording around NICE inContact, which is totally autonomous and works with any product. And then clearly at the top there, we've got the Rainbow, which we're going to be talking about. Then we've got what we call meeting room solutions. This is about delivering agnostic solutions for people who are using classroom solutions, video conferencing, meeting rooms. So number of products there. For example, Ava, they specialize very heavily around the microphone and the camera side of things. i3, if you've been to any of our webinars or been to any of our shows, we have the interactive screens, very strong, very powerful in the education market. And then obviously Yealink, who around MTR, around the meeting room, Teams meeting room solutions, very, very strong. And then key cornerstone to our business is around the professional services. We offer PS of varying types around every product we sell. So that could be around, it could be tier 1, or it could be tier 1 all the way to tier 3 with interaction with the vendor. So again, every product we offer what we call VAD services. So if we have a product, we have to offer a certain level of support. But if people want further support around that product, we will build a solution to enable them to be able to white label it, pass on to customers. So that's the portfolio. Obviously, today we're talking about Rainbow, which I'm quite excited about. We've, like I mentioned, we've been talking about it for some time, and now we're there. It's actually entered a market which is very busy. We know that there is a lot of solutions out there, and the way we are approaching the cloud or the UCaaS world, the CCaaS world, it's a consultative approach. Not every solution fits all. So, rather than doing square peg round hole scenario, we're looking at the solutions we have and seeing what the customer via you guys and the resellers is looking for. So it's quite a consultative approach. Full service wrap, as we always say, so you can pick and choose what you need from us, whether it be the full end-to-end PS and solution, or you just want us to activate it, light it up, and then you'll take everything else away. With the services side of things, there is full training on Rainbow. There's on Rainbow Hub, there's examinations. So again, you can become that authorized reseller around this specific solution. The other thing that I forgot to mention in the cloud side of things is everything we sell apart from one or two is around wholesale. And what that means to you is that you, in effect, invoice the end user, and that gives you the control. There's a number of vendors out there who only do agency, and more partners are saying, well, we want to own the customer, we want to build them, we want to add other services around it, which means that we are in control. One bill, for example. So the Rainbow Hub, pure wholesale solution. We will bill you. You can then sell your service or solution, at whatever cost you want. And integration, again, looking at Rainbow, it's key. So we'll see in a minute. Teams, you can't turn away from Teams. It is going to be there in your face. So rather than fighting it, Rainbow has got a really great solution, and John will talk about this, about embracing Teams. CRM integration, CCaaS. I had a question the other day around ISO accreditation, GDPR. All these things have been taken into consideration with this Rainbow Hub solution. That means it is a truly enterprise solution. And like I mentioned, not every solution, one solution will fit all. So you need to have that opportunity. And, hybrid is a classic. Not everyone is going to cloud. So there is hybrid solutions. And obviously, as you know, if you don't know, Rainbow, the way it was born was as a UC hybrid solution. Again, that is still very prominent out there. And what we're trying to do is deliver commercial propositions that work. There's no point us pricing, putting a great solution, feature rich, which is not commercially viable. So we are doing that all the time, and you'll see later. So marketing support campaigns, collateral, like I mentioned, we have a PDF, which you guys can send out. You can white label it, whatever you might be. So again, you can come back to us on that. There's campaigns, there's collaterals, there's just recently been a new PowerPoint solution, PowerPoint presentation developed by Alcatel, which you can use. So there's plenty of collateral out there for you to discuss with the end user. And one of the way we look at solutions. So for us, it's all about delivering solutions now. It's not about box shifting. We are talking about products there that is not a standalone. There's going to integrate somewhere along the line with something else. So, for example, the classic at the moment is Teams. So if someone's looking to enable Teams, they've got Teams, but they want a enterprise-wide solution. Well, guess what? You go through the questions. We can help them on the cloud consultation side of things. Which the big thing is the muddiness around Teams and all the licenses. Well, guess what? If they haven't got a license, you build it. So you have business standard or MS 365 E3. And normally, if you wanted to put something like an Operator Connect solution, you would need phone standard as well, which all build up the price. But when you're talking about Rainbow, you don't need that. And again, I'll come onto a slide. If they have already, which a lot of people have, they might have business standards. So you say, right, okay, again, scenario here, if they needed they would look at something like direct routing or Operator Connect, they would still need the MS Teams phone standard. With Rainbow, you don't need that. We will deliver the voice with Enterprise with minimal additions on your Microsoft side of things. So don't get left behind, and I've used this before, but with Teams, for example, use Rainbow Hub. It's a great facilitator, gives people the cool bundles, gives them all the features that you won't get with Teams. On that, I'm going to hand over to probably the most handsome guy in Scotland, Mr. John Stenhouse.
Well, actually, yeah.
Oh, sorry, no, not the most.
It's going to be the
second most.
So you'll have to wait for John.
It's exciting. Sorry, Craig. All yours.
As you say, the best is yet to come. So welcome, good morning, everybody. For those that don't know me, my name is Craig Walker. I've been with Alcatel-Lucent a little while now, and I look after or work for the cloud business division, looking after, amongst other things, the Rainbow Hub solution here in the UK. So what I'd like to do is just follow on from what Mike was saying and look at when we are taking this solution or a solution to market. We've come up and been selling and providing you Rainbow for some time now. And there is a common pattern to what people are looking for when either taking on a UC solution or actually delivering the UC solution. And essentially what Rainbow does is join the dots and creates the relationships between all of the underlying infrastructure and the objects that people will have. So yes, Alcatel-Lucent can provide that infrastructure as well, but we don't need to have done if somebody's been unfortunate enough to buy from another network vendor. But we can connect and collate all of those infrastructure and objects. We can add that or onto that, all of the applications, the business applications, and as Mike said about the integration, being able to make sure that we can connect those applications, that data, the AI, the machine learning, all of that information, and turn it from raw data and information into knowledge within the heads of the people and deliver it to the people that are going to need to utilize that. And we can do this in a way that is delivered in a business model that meets the regulations, so GDPR and ISO 27001, as Mike said, but also in a way that the customers can actually acquire the capabilities. And essentially, Rainbow is at the heart of this. This is the goal of Rainbow is to provide the context of that communication and the inclusion so that we can provide all of the ability to deliver that outcome that people are looking for, and joining all the dots. And we've had this now for 5+ years, and essentially what we're doing with Rainbow Hub is to bring the on-prem PBX into the cloud as well. And as I'll show you in a second, it's a slightly different approach than you may have seen before. So if we look at the Rainbow Hub and our cloud offers, we can deliver cloud from on-prem. Any elements of the PBX can be on-prem, and traditionally it's been the hybrid environment where the customer has the PBX and we're delivering Rainbow over the top, operated by us from our DCs, and we have our own infrastructure for Rainbow. We're now with Rainbow Hub bringing that PBX function into the cloud, and bringing it into a UC environment as opposed to putting UC on top of a telephony environment. I'll discuss that slightly in more detail in a moment. But we're also able to downscale that cloud capability and deliver it into a private environment, so that the customer or a private DC, colo DC, can have a private instance of this cloud infrastructure, and that we call Rainbow Edge. So wherever your customer is on that journey into the cloud, and if they decide, actually, no, we want this functionality, but we want to have it in our own facilities, the quick answer you have to your customer is yes, we can do that. So wherever they are in that journey to the cloud, or from the premise to the cloud or back again, this is where you can have an offer to the market. And Edge is particularly successful in blue light, in government, in security and health type situations, whereas the hub has been very successful in the what you might call the pure cloud environment, where you're delivering services from the cloud. So let's look at what Rainbow Hub actually is. So what we have done, and what is different than the traditional cloud PBX player, is instead of adding UC over the top of a telephony environment and a telephony way of working, what we are doing is taking our UC capability that we've had for, like I say, the last 5 years or so, and we are embedding that telephony functionality across that UC infrastructure. So it's the other way around, or the approach is the other way around. So the approach is a UC first approach in the way that you work, but delivering that telephony features, functions that you require into that collaborative services. At the same time, we've embedded the ability to deliver the zero touch provisioning, so that it's a very easy way to provide that functionality to be able to deploy and manage. And all of this is managed from within the UC management and admin portal that you're used to as a Rainbow user, both for yourselves and for the end customers. So this is entirely embedded within that UC client that you're used to, rather than having multiple different management systems to be able to manage this. Now, in and of itself, the hub only provides part of the solution. So the full UCaaS capability is only available when you add in the operator services, the traffic and the connectivity. And this is where we partner with the likes of Nastar in this country to be able to deliver that functionality and deliver the services to the end customer. And Nuvola are absolutely key in this, in being able to bring together these two elements of the Alcatel and the Nastar to deliver these services for you as one bill and one invoice. So you have that control to the end customer, but as a single solution. And this is where the three of us together, so Nuvola, Nastar and ALE, come together, and Nuvola can then package that for you. So if we look at the features that we're providing, we have all the telephony that you would expect in terms of the functionality, in terms of the capabilities within voicemail, group, manager, secretary, all of the aspects that you would expect, as well as the routing and the management of multiple devices, and the context that you can be delivered through Rainbow that you hopefully already know. Embedded as well, we have all of the welcome services. So the IVR, the attendant console is a software only console, so there's no additional hardware required. And recording is, again, by the very nature, is included in the license, in the offer right from the get-go. So that's not an additional upsell that you have to fight for. We give you a whole raft of analytics for you to be able to manage and to be able to troubleshoot and to be able to report to your customers the level of service that you're actually providing. And as Mike mentioned earlier about the integration, then we have all of the integrations that we have from within the bigger Rainbow, within the Rainbow Hub, but also we have the ability, because of the way that we've done this, to merge the WebRTC world with the PSTN world. So you can have the UC communications and blend that with the PSTN. So you can dial in and dial out to a hard phone, somebody else's mobile phone, whatever, within that same bubble conversation. So this is really where we have a key differentiators. So if we look at, so just a couple of the points that are real differentiators, the way that we manage the groups and the ability to have multiple groups per user, the way that we can deliver the attendant console, all of the analytics that we give, and then the integration into Teams, but also the integration with the PSTN and the WebRTC worlds. This gives you some key differentiators that you won't get elsewhere. So those are elements that you can confidently talk about with your customers. Now, I mentioned the terminals and using hard phones. We have a number of phones, and obviously we will recommend the new Myriad range of phones, but there are others that we can use, and these are all zero touch. So you can send the phone out in a box, have the customer plug it in, and it will work. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that per se, because you want to be there and show them how it works and give them the level of service. But in terms of the ability to very quickly provision, this takes all the pain away and makes it very easy for you to commission these devices for those people that do need devices. And I know more and more are moving towards the mobile and software only environment, and that's where the headsets come in. So we can have a range of headsets as well that are very high quality that you can provide. And in the middle of all that, for those that still need DECT, then the DECT devices, we can have dual cell now, and we'll have multi-cell towards the end of the year in the September release. So with that, I will hand over to John, and he will show you this in action and show you just how easy it is to deliver the Rainbow Hub.
Good morning, everyone. I just start my screen sharing. So there we go. So hopefully you can see my screen now. So what I'm going to do is just jump on the back of what everybody's saying, and just instead of me doing a presentation, I'm going to do a demo. So here is the Rainbow that most of you know, and as you know, if you are an administrator, so this access here is a business partner access. So you click on manage your customers, you have your own company, and then you have your customer company. So I'm just going to show you how easy it is to set up a instance and phones on Rainbow Hub. So first thing is we want to create a new company. So I will create a new company. I will call it Newco. Wherever the company is based, the visibility you can set, you can change this again later. Do you want it to be visible from everybody, from just the company itself, see their own users? And you obviously put your support, so be support at bp.com. Okay, and I now have just created a new company on Rainbow. Okay, so here is my new company. So first thing I have to do is to add some subscriptions. So voice business, voice enterprise, so anything that starts with voice is a Rainbow Hub. So, you know, just for this, let's just add one user. So I've now added a license, but this is where you would have your pack of licenses according to what your customer wants. I now then go into communications and I create a new company. So these are my, let's call it cloud access, server type, cloud PBX. This is where you set your voice prompts, your external trunk, which would be NASDAR. And here your outbound prefix, so what you select for a 9, and here let's say you're replacing an OXO, so you would put prefix 2, 3 digits, and create. And we now have a cloud PBX created. So what you've done, you've created the user, you've created the you've added some licenses, and you've created the cloud PBX. Now once I create this, it does take a couple of minutes just to actually access that. So if I just snip across to this screen here is one of the users on my existing cloud account, and you'll see here this has admin access. So with this I have my normal admin access of my user when I can see all the information about my company. So if we go back to this now, so now I now have my cloud PBX running. So I've created a new customer. So next thing to do will be to put in some public numbers. So let's create, you're given the DDI numbers from Nuvola. So let's just create some of these here. 133 99 320. Let's create a range. Let's have 2. No, we'll do 3. So a range of 3 DDI numbers. Apply. And again, it just takes a couple of minutes to actually validate this, and then you will see your DDI numbers appear here in your list. So we've got DDI numbers, we've got a cloud PBX. What's left? Devices. So you want to create a phone, you go to create. Here we have the drop down box, and as Craig mentioned earlier, it is auto provisioning. So these are the handsets here that are auto provisioned, or you can actually assign a generic SIP phone. So if you want a Yealink, etc., we have tested this with some, but it is generic SIP where you would basically just put in your parameters. So here, let's just put in an M7, and all you do is put the MAC address in. MAC address and apply, and then the M7 will jump into life. So you're now created within a matter of minutes a cloud PBX. You've created you've added your DDI numbers to the cloud PBX, and you've created a device. All of this that I'm showing you on a simple level, but you can import from an Excel spreadsheet. So you can import on bulk. We'll just call this one test and then apply. Okay, so we now have a phone. Now, one of the things on here as well is you will see the existing premium handsets. So with the existing premium handsets, again, you can add them to Hub. What you have to do with them, there is a page on, for those of you that know Rainbow will know that the Open Rainbow support, there's lots and lots of stuff on there. There's a particular page that says, how do you put the S series phones into auto provisioning, and all you basically do is go into the program in the phone and set them as SIP mode. It reboots, you put the MAC address in again on hub, and it arrives, and it works. So that's your Rainbow Hub, creating your Rainbow Hub. So there's your COM server, your cloud PBX, your devices, your public numbers. We're not got a lot of time to go through this, but traffic control, blacklist, whitelist, your welcome services, what you're going to use, your auto attendant, your voice prompts, where you can import, you can change your voice prompts, and your different groups. Okay, so we've created an instance. So what I would like to show you as well here is Craig mentioned analytics. So I'm going to go back to my ALE UK Rainbow Hub. This is, by the way, a fully working Rainbow Hub instance with users. I actually have all different users on this with different types of phones. If you need help with talking to customers with DDIs, not DDIs, sorry, showing phones, this is a fully working system. Just give us a shout and we can certainly help with that. So again, analytics, and you'll see here it comes up with analytics. So this is your overview page where you've got several things you can see, your licenses, your adoption, the Rainbow voice that's been used, your phone calls, the quality, and I'm actually you'll see there's different tabs here. So you click on users, shows you your inactive users, your number of active users by certain times, by dates, peer-to-peer, calls that have been made with peer-to-peer, your audio quality. I think this is quite good. I'm going to show you this. We'll go all users, and I'll look at audio quality over the last 30 days. And here you will actually see whether the calls have been made on LAN, on the Wi-Fi, and it gives you the mean MOS score. And also underneath, you will see the users that have, the calls that have been made. So it's very good at your analytics, at being able to view what's going on. And this is only going to get better. We had a call this morning and we're increasing the analytics within this as well. So voice, your 1 year summary, you can actually see your answered calls per day, all information like that, and your different groups. You'll see I've got different groups on here, so you can actually view your voice traffic per group. So that is how to set up Rainbow Hub. Hopefully you'll see that it is very easy to use. Most of you that know Rainbow will have the admin portal as well, and it's just that easy to create an instance, add the DDIs, and add subscribers. And as I said, you basically create your devices and your DDIs. Again, they can all be imported on bulk. So the next thing I want to show you is something else that Michael and Craig have both talked about, and that is the Rainbow integration into Teams. So as we know, there's lots and lots of customers, especially because of what's happened with lockdown, what's happened with COVID. A lot of customers have moved to Teams and are using Teams for their UC, which is fine. If that's what they want to do, that's great. But when they want to be able to use the Teams platform to make calls, you have to add all these other packages to Teams, which will incur costs and will take you to a different carrier, or will take you to the different charging rates for the carrier that's assigned to Teams. So what Rainbow does is, Rainbow is a power app that actually sits and that's pinned within my Teams. So what that's doing is making Teams a SIP phone. So using this Teams on my PC, I can now make calls out from Teams. Okay, we recently had, or we had version 2 about 2 weeks ago. We upgraded to version 3, and version 3 is a lot more powerful than version 2. For instance, I can't show you on this one, but you have visual voicemail. You can have your speed dials at the top, so you can create speed dial buttons. You have your favorites on the left. And it's very, very easy to use. And probably the biggest change with version 3 is the fact that we now have unified presence. So the last thing a Teams user wants to do is, if they're on Teams and someone wants to call them on the PBX, and with V2 there was no presence, but now if you are on a call, an external call, and someone tries to call you on Teams, it automatically goes in DND, and vice versa. If you're making a UC call on Teams, it will stop that call coming through. So there's now a unified presence. And you can do the usual things. You can see your voicemail, so it's integrating into your Rainbow hub. Also OXO and OXE, you can forward your calls. So this is an overview of Teams. If you wanted to make a call, you simply dial from here with the dial pad, or you can search. So if we look for Mr. Walker, it will search and come up with Mr. Walker, and I can call him. And it's very, very easy to use. If I dial this number here, I click on that, and that will dial out from Teams. And you will see here, I now have a call control box. I can simply type in somebody's name here. If I type Craig in, it would put that call on hold, and we could do a 3-party conference, etc. So that's a very, very quick overview of the Rainbow Teams integration. So with that, I will hand back to Mr. Lloyd, who is going to do the outro. Thanks, guys.
The outro.
Yeah, I got that from Craig.
Oh, of course you did. Right. 1 second. Let me just get everything in place. We're all there. Don't want that. Right. John, can you see my screen? As I know you're there.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, John. You sounded a bit like Craig then. So just thanks, Craig and John, for giving us the nuts and bolts about Rainbow Hub. Now the kind of interesting part is about the go-to-market. So as has been mentioned, we are the conduit between the traffic and Rainbow Hub. Very straightforward. You will buy a single solution from us. You will buy the hub, license, and the traffic. So it'll be bundled up as one single line item. And then obviously you as a reseller can go and do whatever you need to do. But you'll get one invoice from us, one contract with per customer. Sorry. So it makes it very simple. Just based on that, there's a number of licenses. So we've got the voice phone, which is just purely dial tone only. Okay, no soft phones, nothing, just a hard phone only. And that's ideally to handle incoming calls and the 999 scenarios. Voice business obviously has if you are familiar with the UC, is very similar to that. So hard phone and soft phone, individual in that respect, but also probably not as much features and benefits of the voice enterprise side of things. So again, if you're familiar with Rainbow Hub, you'll see that it's following the similar lines, and then obviously you've got voice attendant as well, and a couple of other options I'll come on to. So again, it's trying to make it very simple, minimizing the licensing, so it makes it easier to talk to your customers and understand what they need without having to kind of go through all the weeds and trying to get the right solution. There is the options I've sent out to everyone. So just some promotions that we've come up with. One of them is a proof of concept. So per partner, so per company, we are willing to give away 5 business licenses, 5 enterprise licenses, and some DDIs. Now, to be clear, this is for proof of concept and demonstration purposes. We are not expecting, and we will not want our customers to, our partners to actually use this as an in-house solution. If you want to use Rainbow Hub as an in-house solution, then you buy it the normal way. But this is a great opportunity where you can build, like John has, build a full system which will make outgoing calls, because you'll get the SIP connectivity along with that, and gives you that opportunity to show customers exactly the power the Rainbow Hub has got. Now, again, with the DDIs and the usage, I'm expecting people to be fair, but we can talk about that once we light this up. So again, get in contact with us and we will build the solution for you, so you guys all have access to this solution. And then the other thing, a kind of bit of a kickstart promotion. Again, we've been talking about Rainbow Hub, it's now here. So for business and enterprise licenses, we're saying on a 12-month contract, if you place the order before the end of September this year, you'll get 3 months free. And on a 36-month contract, you'll get 6 months free. So again, quite a nice carrot. You might want to it might enable you to win some customers. It might enable you to make some more margin. That is entirely up to you. But for those who sign up today and embrace the whole Rainbow Hub side of things, this is a great opportunity for you. So orders to be placed by the end of September. Activation doesn't have to be by the end of September, but as long as the orders are placed by the end of September, that's the main thing. So it gives you all, a good few months to get out there, talk about Rainbow Hub, and make the most of some good promotions. So next steps, find an opportunity. If you need a demo, as John says, he's there to help. I think most of you, if you're using Rainbow at the moment, you'll pick it up very, very quickly. As you know, the GUI is so user-friendly. You then, if you have an opportunity and you win a deal, create a company, as John said. At that stage, you send the details to us and the PO to Nuvola. We will come back with a contract, and then we will activate that company by either porting the numbers over, or if you're looking to add new DDIs. Once that's done, it's live. You guys will be in total control. There's obviously professional services that we can help if you don't have the skill sets, you want us to help set it up and create the company. There's abilities there where you can buy some PS off us, but on the whole, this is pretty self-administrated. And with the admin portal, it is pretty simple. We've been working with a couple of partners who have had some really great success in activating, in doing the proofs of concept and getting the whole ball up and running. So I think that's about it for now. I believe I'm now going to talk to Katrina, who I'm hoping is there waiting for me.
I'm waiting.
There she is.
Can you hear me?
As usual.
Yep.
We can hear you.
Do you want me to fire away with the questions that have come in?
Yes, please. And I will tell whoever I want to answer the questions.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan. So everyone needs to be on action stations and ready.
Yes.
So first question, this is interesting. Is there contact center functionality?
Okay, I'm going to push that over to Craig.
Thank you, Mike. So the quick answer is, let's say we will have call center in the first stage rather than contact center, and I'll differentiate what I mean. So in a typical voice-only environment, call center, we have the ability to queue calls in the groups. So in that respect, it's more like an informal call center. And then that is a case of the analytics are coming by the end of the year. So by the end of the year, we will have the full queuing capability to have a proper informal call center, suitable, I would say, for the SMB environment up to the SME environment, or for any call center or call center function that isn't what you might call a proper contact center. And that is something that when it's allied to the click to connect of Rainbow, and also by the end of the year, the WhatsApp integration. You can actually get into multimedia in a way, but it's not what you would call or what you would recognize as a standalone contact center. The contact center, we're integrating with the Avaya AXP, and that is a full-fledged contact center, and that will be by the end of the year, and that's cloud to cloud contact center. So for that environment, you will have a full multimedia environment with workflow management, and that is a fully fledged contact center. Once that is in place, then we will be looking to integrate with the other vendors' contact centers and open up that connectivity to be able to have a range of contact centers that you will be able to bring. So if you have Braxdell, Enchhouse, Inin, all these others that are out there, Varela, for those that are familiar with the Varela team, that I would expect to be early next year to be able to connect other vendors' contact centers to the platform.
Wow, that was quite a comprehensive answer. Thank you, Craig. And just quickly on that, we are doing a webinar around the Avaya and Alcatel collaboration on the contact center, which I'm sure Katrina will throw at me in 2 seconds. In the meantime,
You read my mind.
Yeah, I know you. In the meantime, another question, Katrina?
Yeah, it would be remiss of me to not say that Avaya AXP webinar is next Tuesday at 10 a.m. I think you've all received an email from Mike about that. So do sign up for it. Next question is how many different devices can you have?
Okay, Stenny, this one for you. So on the different licenses, what devices how many can you have?
Basically, on the number, it's pretty limitless. You know, you can go to as number of devices as you want on the platform
as long as it's 5 per user, John.
Right, okay, so number of devices, yes. So if it's actually you mean, I thought you meant like maximum number of users, but
no,
yeah.
no, per license. If you've got a business license, how many devices can you have allocated to that business license?
5 on that one license.
And with enterprise, same again?
Yep. And that's like a phone, a UC, mobile, etc.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, John. Katrina, have we got any more?
Yep. Different handsets. Example: old ALE handsets and or Yealink handsets. That kind of follows on from that one, I suppose.
Okay, so John Boy. I'll take that again. Yep. So as I showed you earlier, you can actually create a SIP handset in the configuration, and basically it will give you your outgoing proxy, your inbound proxy, and you can input that into your Yealink or your SIP phone or your ALE SIP phone that's not within the auto provisioning, and it's quite easy to do. However, you know, the disadvantage is it's, as I say, it's not auto provisioning. With the auto provisioning ones, it's the standard, and with the S series, as I mentioned earlier, you can actually create different handsets in, and that is on I can send you the link to the page that shows you have to put them into SIP mode. So basically you reboot the phone into SIP mode and then put the MAC address in, and it will see the S series. So that's the 8008, 8008G, the 8018, 8060, 8058S, 8068S. Okay, so in short terms, with the M series, there's auto provisioning. We can send them to site, bish bosh bang. But in terms of the old series, you probably would have to have a site visit and actually manually go and change some settings. No, so they're pretty much yes. So providing the phones are put into SIP mode, you can do exactly the same with them. Right. Yeah. So, okay. So as you say, you know, if they're already on site, you would need to actually put them into SIP mode on site.
So
Lovely,
if
thank
I could
you.
add to that, Mike, a couple
yeah.
of points. In actual fact, for the management and the messing about to begin with, if you've got some old Yay links or some generic SIP device, the faffing about and the cost of actually sending a guy to site to mess about with it, you might as well actually just sell a Myriad phone anyway. For specific devices like the door phones, if it's just an audio door phone, then any SIP door phone should work. For the video door phones, because the video codec is different, we will have a whitelist for supported video door phones coming out, hopefully by the end of the year.
Thank you. Katrina,
ne-
have we got any more to rock and roll with?
Yeah,
Good,
got a few. Does connectivity need to be via NASTAR?
I can answer that. At this present time, yes. A very short answer. We are working with Alcatel to develop a truly bring your own SIP lines, but at the moment, NASTAR is the only SIP lines that we are working with. But watch this space. There are plans to open it up.
If I just add a little bit to that, is that one of the reasons why we're working with NASTAR is that they have the capability to deliver encryption end to end, and not many carriers out there are able to do that today. And any carrier that wants to directly connect to the platform needs to be certified. So we've gone through a whole raft of certification with NASTAR. So in future, then yes, we will be able to bring your own carrier, as we call it. Initially, that will be through the Oxy as a gateway, but I'm assuming at some point next year we will be able to do it via SBCs. But in the meantime, then NASTAR is the carrier that we use.
Lovely, thank you.
Okay. Next one, confirmation of porting in charges.
Okay, so there with the brochure that again is going to be available, there is a number of charges which are outside of the licenses, such as porting, activating, and then there's options around PS. So as per any kind of UCAS solution, if you are looking to port the number, there is charges which are not driven by us or even NASTAR. In all honesty, they're driven by the kind of regulators. So there will be charges for that, but again, I can confirm them with the brochure. There is one charge. It doesn't matter how many lines you are porting over, whether it's multi or single, but there is a charge that will be in place. Yes.
Okay, next question. Technical training for installation and setup of Rainbow Hub. Appreciate straightforward, but where is the training information provided?
Okay, I'm going to pass it over to Jeffrey, because I believe he's done a bit of research on this.
Yes, so there is technical training. The nice thing as part of this, it's actually free. So if you do the online training, it actually goes through the process of setting up each of the client. There's videos in there as well. It's pretty straightforward. And at the end, there's an exam. I think it's 30 questions that gives you an ACFE. It does give you the full details. And as part of that, you also get an ebook, so you can refer back to the ebook later on. If you feel that that isn't the path you want to take, there are classrooms and virtual training as well. They are chargeable because they will have a trainer with them, but the actual online training, if you choose to do that, is called completely free. There's also, to add to that, there's sales Rainbow Hub training as well, which will give you an ACSR. Please bear in mind, to raise technical escalations, you will need the ACFE, but like I say, it is free.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, and obviously we will do anyone who is learning and wants to ramp up, but in the meantime has opportunities, we can help you with the PS side of things.
Okay,
the other thing is reach out to us. If you want us to show stuff, then we'll happily show you, and John's on tap as well to give you demos and go through some stuff.
I'm going to swing
Sure.
back to the NASTAR question because of I think the person that asked it wants to kind of deep dive a bit. They've said they're happy that NASTAR provide the SIP. The question was, can internet be provided by others?
Quick answer,
In
yes.
terms of broad, yeah, the answer is yes. The broadband. This is purely, it's a form of connectivity that we're using the SIP, but yeah, it's in effect the connectivity is between NASTAR and the Rainbow Hub, which is what that's where we're using them. But as far as broadband, lease lines, whatever, we don't care.
Yeah, and just to be clear, NASTAR themselves don't get to see anything of you or your customers. That's all. It's just the SIP, and it's a dedicated SIP pipe that Nuvola have. So they are providing the functionality, but they do not get any visibility into any of you or your customers.
Okay. Next question. Is there a time scale on BYO SIP trunks?
So yeah, as I said, the first phase will be using a Oxy as a gateway. Now, one of the things that we didn't get a chance to show you is the fact that under Rainbow you can have multiple PBXs, so you can have an OXO or an Oxy and the cloud PBX within the same Rainbow company, and that gives you the ability to transition your customers into the cloud. So if they don't want to expand their Oxy, well, give them Rainbow Hub. If they want to move from OXO to Hub, you can make it a graceful transformation, so that you don't have to do it all at once. And in that respect, the Oxy can sit as a gateway within that Rainbow company, and you can use the Oxy and connect the Oxy to the old SIP or trunks, and then bring the connectivity in that way. But if you don't have an Oxy, then that's a very expensive way of doing it. My expectation is probably mid of next year before you would be able to do the bring your own carrier through an SBC type of arrangement. But I don't have a fixed timescale on that at the moment.
Okay, we're hitting 11 o'clock, so one more question, and then any other questions that haven't been answered, we'll contact you directly. So final question, can you do Irish number porting? Can a government department bring their own SIP trunk to the Rainbow Hub?
So on the Irish side of things, we don't have the facility to do the Irish side of things. That is something that we will be discussing with various partners. But at the moment, we're just kicking off the UK. Second half of the question, Craig, about the government.
Yeah, the only way that we would be able to do it would be through an Oxy, using the Oxy as a gateway and keeping the old traffic. It would need to be something as big as a whole department to make that viable. Small companies doesn't really work, but if you've got an Oxy in place and you wanted to migrate the users onto the hub, that would be something that we could look at, but we'd need to look at that in more detail.
I think we're done there.
Okay. Not bad. Well, on that note, so we will get all the slides out to everyone, and I think we will. We usually just confirm the questions and the answers, so hopefully everyone's got the information. We had a poll. Thank you very much for doing the poll, Katrina.
No, I didn't run the poll. Do you want me to run the poll now?
No, that's absolutely fine. So date in the diary for next Tuesday if you want to understand how the integration side of things is working between Alcatel and Avaya. Quite interesting there. Thank you from everyone's emojis. I'm glad those two fingers are going up that way. Anyway, on that note, have a good day, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. You know where we are. Nuvola is here to help. Get in touch. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.